Hello everyone, and in today's quick review we're going to be taking a look at the AW3423DWF. I did take a look at the DW model, which is the white version with the G-Sync module, a while ago, so we'll leave that review in the description below if you want to check it out. But this is going to be the review of the black version that does have AMD FreeSync Premium Pro. It is a curved 34-inch ultra-wide monitor running at 3440 by 1440p resolution, and it is also, of course, a QD-OLED panel. This monitor does share quite a few things with the other version, namely being the glossy QD-OLED display, having those RGB lighting zones on the back and on the bottom power button, as well as having 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, and 2 of them are also very easily accessible. But the differences do start there, where we do have some differences in the screen refresh rate, with this one being 165 Hz instead of 175 Hz. This monitor also features a normal way to VESA mount your monitor without needing any extra modules like the DW variant did a while ago. And the last external difference is also going to come down to the ports. This one does have 2 DisplayPort 1.4 ports and 1 HDMI 2.0 port, whereas the DW had 2 HDMI 2.0 ports and 1 DisplayPort 1.4 port. The color reproduction for the DWF is very good as well, having the same DCI-P3 rating as the more expensive DF variant, and where it does start to fall short is going to be in that Adobe RGB range, where on the DW variant I did measure a higher rating in comparison to the DWF. But quite honestly, it's not a difference that I actually notice day to day, and the DCI-P3 modes on both monitors are nearly identical. In terms of the motion blur performance, they are virtually the same, not having hardly any smearing or fringing at all. Both of these OLED monitors are top tier when it comes to motion blur performance, and even though this one is only running at 165 Hz, this can give you very similar performance to a 240 Hz LCD monitor because of just how fast that pixel response time feels when you're playing games. Is it going to match the smoothness of 240 Hz? Absolutely not. 240 Hz is going to feel smoother. But when it comes to the actual clarity when you're moving around and playing your games, this feels and looks so much better. It's just so much more immersive and so much more vibrant when you have those self-illuminating OLED pixels. This monitor does also have FreeSync Premium Pro, so if you are going to be dipping below 165 FPS, make sure you want to enable that, because if you are hovering around 100 to 120 FPS in game, you may experience some screen tearing, so you want to make sure that you have that on if you are going to be playing a super high-end AAA title with maxed out graphics that's going to lower your FPS. Otherwise, if you lower your settings a little bit in game, I'm sure you're going to get great performance out of this thing, and you won't have to worry about enabling that FreeSync Premium Pro. Now, with this monitor being a couple of $100 cheaper at a minimum, maybe even up to $300 or more cheaper depending on when you're watching this video and what sales Dell has going on, with this monitor having 10 less refresh rate, 1 extra DisplayPort port, and 1 less HDMI port, and being a little bit worse in the color department, would I take this monitor over the more expensive version? Quite honestly, yes, I would. This thing is just so similar to the DW variant that it makes sense to get this one if you are looking to save the most amount of money. Now, do I regret purchasing the DW? I don't. I mean, the extra 10 refresh rate is nice, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. And had I waited till this one was out, would I have gotten this one instead to save a couple of dollars? Probably. I mean, why not, when the performance is largely the same and technically better in some areas, because some reviews do also claim that this monitor has lower input latency as well. Not to mention that you can also do firmware updates to this monitor, so if Dell ever does release firmware updates for problems that may arise in the future, then you have that secondary system to have the possibility of making your monitor better as time goes on. Now, of course, if you are buying an OLED monitor, you have to remember that there is the chance that you could get pixel burn-in, and with this monitor having a 3-year warranty, I definitely do think that Dell is going to take care of you. So within those 3 years, if you do have any issues at all and you experience burn-in, feel free to reach out to Dell support to have them take care of you. And I definitely trust Dell support more than other monitor companies. They are extremely easy to work with. Now, a couple things I want to answer before I end this video. Does the glossy coating bother me or change my decision based on what monitor I would pick. Personally, the glossy coating, I don't have any issues with it, and I do think that it definitely enhances the image a lot better than having a matte display coating. Do I like the glossy coating over the LG OLED monitor that was recently released that we also took a look at? Yes, the glossy coating definitely looks better, and with this QD-OLED panel being able to get a little bit higher sustained brightness, I definitely do prefer to game on this one when I'm not playing a competitive title. If I'm playing a competitive title, since I have the LG, I do like to use that one, and I do think that it looks great. But if I'm looking to be a little bit more immersed in the world of what I'm playing, then I definitely do prefer playing with the Alienware ultra-wide monitor. If you're not a fan of ultra-wide, then I guess your decision is kind of made up. You want to go with a flat 16:9 monitor for sure. But if you are open to the idea of having an OLED monitor and also having an ultra-wide monitor, I think that for the price that this one is, you're definitely looking at a very good experience. Now, as far as the subpixel layout is concerned, does it bother me and is it really noticeable? It really depends on how closely you're looking at the monitor. Like if the monitor is up in your face and you like to be extra immersed in the content that you're viewing or doing or whatever, and you do deal with a lot of text documents, then I will tell you that it can be a little bit distracting looking at the QD-OLED panel. But does it actually bother me in use? No. It doesn't. When you have your monitor on a monitor arm and it's a little bit further away from you, I really don't notice it at all. I kind of thought of it as a non-issue, but if you are using it with the stand and your stand is scooted a little bit closer to you, I can see how that would be a bit of an issue, especially if you work with a lot of text and a lot of documents. But otherwise, in terms of just general desktop use and playing games, it doesn't bother me not one bit. Would I pick this or the LG? Personally, I would say for the price, I would pick the Alienware because it's a lot more versatile in the color department, and it's also a bit more of an immersive experience, and also that glossy screen is really nice. For my full opinion on the DW variant of this monitor, feel free to check out the link in the description below to that review, as well as my full review of the LG 240Hz monitor. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Let me know any other comments that you have about the Alienware DW or DWF variant in the comment section below. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.